What's up, guys? A little something different for you today. As you guys know, most of us YouTubers, we get sent 100 projects a week. And for me, I get a ton of projects, a lot of different forks and stuff. Most of the projects, honestly, are trash. And there's a handful of them that look really good, right? Some of them I've got into either because I like the tokenomics or because I like the devs or whatever. Someone sent me this one and said, hey, this is a really interesting project that's upcoming. It's not even launched yet. This is going to go to pre-sale, I think, in the next couple weeks. And most of the time I'll be like, okay, let's get a little closer to the pre-sale and see what's up. But this one's just different. It's just a much different vibe. Much more kind of sustainable long-term play. So I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to get in, but the pre-sale prices are looking kind of juicy. So anyway, why don't we just go through the website real quick and a few key things on the white paper. I just want to get eyes on it, right? I've been telling you guys, I've been trying to create more and more content this year, trying to branch out, do some things a little bit differently. So here's an example of a video, obviously, that I'm just throwing out there to create some good content and for you guys to see some of the stuff that I'm looking at early on. And this is a project, like I said, that I'm not sure if I'm going to get into or not, but let me read through it and you guys let me know what you think. I read through this the first time. I'm like, okay, this is a little different. This isn't the standard project that's coming out of DeFi right now. And it's kind of something that I think I may dive into just because of how it's set up. So anyway, let's get into it. So the project is called Aviate, as you can see. Their website's cool, pretty standard, but it's got a really good look to it. It's basically a trading bot platform, but not the same as all the trading bot platforms that are out there right now, or even other ones that I'm involved in. Kind of a longer term play, more sustainable. So Aviate began with one goal: create the lowest risk, high reward DeFi protocol out there. So of course, there's going to be the combination between low risk and high reward. You got to find a way to find that balance. Most of the stuff that's going to pay you out an extremely high reward is also going to be extremely high risk. That's just the nature of the game. So, and combining the state-of-the-art trading bot technology with carefully crafted tokenomics to produce a weekly ROI of 3%, right? That is a 3% weekly ROI, not a 3% per day like some of these other protocols. So of course, the lower ROI makes it more sustainable. If you're in the traditional markets, if you could get 3% per week, you'd be doing really good. So this is more of a sustainable, longer term play. This is something that you'd want to park capital in and sit there and kind of live off the dividends. So much different play than we've been seeing in DeFi, a little bit longer term, 3% a week, which is still really solid. You decide whether you want to keep investing. Got some interesting tokenomics and interesting game theory here. But just to talk about it, right, they've got trading bots, obviously algorithm stablecoin technology, carefully built taxation, and they've got a venture capital aspect. So Aviate will use small-scale venture capital investments with short lockup periods to build liquidity. So that's kind of nice, just something that's a little bit unique, a little bit different. And here's how they stay stable. So we use bot trading technology operated by a team of traders who generally know what they're doing and know how to create revenue. However, as everyone knows, trading is not an up-only game. Even though we consider ourselves to be the best, we still have plenty of losses too. I like the transparency because if you've ever traded, you realize you're going to have some down weeks, certainly some down days, probably some down weeks, and maybe even some down months. You just don't want to have down quarters or anything bigger than that. So the longer term play, I guess, makes sense. I like that they're being really transparent here. Again, just a different take than what we see normally on DeFi, a lower ROI, but something that's meant to be stretched out longer, and them coming out in the front and telling you, like, we will have some losses, but we're really good at what we do. So those will net out in the end, in the aggregate. So this is why we incorporate carefully planned tokenomics with taxes on buys and sells, which deepens our liquidity and allows us to conduct trading strategies which potentially risk small losses in the short term, but produce profits over days and weeks, like I was kind of just mentioning. Aviate combines two concepts into one: the concept of a protocol which solely gains liquidity from taxes and transactions, and the concept of a protocol which solely gains liquidity from successful trading. So kind of two different pieces. Both of these concepts have been semi-successful on other protocols in the past, but ultimately end up crashing and burning, which we've seen. Even though some of these lasted 6, 7, 8 months, eventually they run out of liquidity. So having this two-tiered system is how they think they'll be sustainable. And by combining these two, we can achieve a substantially more sustainable protocol, which is basically what I just said 3 times in a row. So cool website. They've got all their stuff on here, their docs, their social stability. I mean, they're pretty transparent about everything that's going on. So I'm probably going to get in contact with the team and just start asking questions. You know, the docs level of the team, what kind of history they have, all that type of stuff. This may be their first DeFi protocol. So anyway, I'll try to get all those details for you if I'm going to get in. This is just to give you a good once over and pique your interest if it's something you might be interested in. Like I said, for me, this was different than the other stuff that I've been doing. So I figured, hey, let's take a stab at creating a little piece of content on it. So this is the white paper. Again, the white paper is kind of like the wiki setup, very clean. I like it a lot. As usual, I won't read everything here. I did jump through most of these, so I've got a pretty good idea of the information that's embedded in this white paper. But this is just to get some eyes on it, so you guys can let me know if it's something you're interested in, if I should make further videos on it. Should we all jump into the pre-sale together, right? You get it. So this first page is kind of what we just mentioned, right? It combines the two concepts of a protocol that gains liquidity from taxes and transactions and a protocol that gains liquidity from the actual successful trading. So I think that's awesome. They say they add in an expansive and free referral system. I have no idea what that is. So I have no idea what the referral's on here. If you get paid, if you don't, so that's not my motivation here. We'll see what they are here in a second, or frankly, if it's even listed, I'm not seeing the referrals on here, but that doesn't matter yet. They're still in the pre-sale stage. So they add that in, stablecoin tech, whale dumping mitigation, which is good. And they truly believe that they've created the best DeFi protocol to date. Obviously too early to tell, but I like the confidence. So of course, the main thing is they've got trading bots, and they've got a team of traders that also work on them. They've got a history of being successful, they say, and that's how they're going to produce this liquidity through making profits on their gains, which allows you to get paid out 3% per week. Next up is, let's go, tokenomics. So for the tokenomics, they use their token is called Aviate, right? That's the Aviate token. It's going to launch pegged between $95 and 105 USD. So pretty spendy for a token. All rewards are paid in Aviate, which can instantly be sold for BUSD. So that's great. Aviate can also be purchased with BUSD or BNB, which I like because I'm always having to transfer between the two. And it's nice to just be able to go somewhere on the swap page of their normal website or their DApp and just swap it straight over from BNB or BUSD, whatever's in your wallet. So that's helpful. So they've got this lockup period generator, which is kind of interesting. So you can lock up and purchase the following ranks. It looks like starters 1 to 4, bronze 5 to 24, silver 25 to 49, gold 50 to 99, and so on all the way up to triple platinum, which is 1,000 AVI, which at the normal price would be what, $100,000 roughly. So these are the big boys that are going to come in here, and the whales that are going to be 3x platinum. If I come in, I don't know exactly where I'm going to come in at. I'm like, stuff like this, I don't know, any new protocol, you guys have seen most of what I do. It's like $1,000, $1,500. You know, I kind of try to stay in that range, just because it's fully risk capital. Like, I'm okay to lose that. I can sleep at night if the rug gets pulled or whatever. With this one, I feel a little more confident that it'll happen long term. I don't really know why. I still need to do more due diligence before I decide to jump in. But yeah, maybe it's going to be like $1,500 or something like that. So we'll see. So after you purchase, to start earning your 3% ROI, you must choose to lock it up. So you got to lock your AVI up for 6 months in what they call the generator. You will then instantly start earning your 3% weekly, which just adds to it. And then of course you can add to that deposit at any time. I don't know if you add to that deposit, if it restarts that 6-month lock. So that's something I would need to figure out. But you put it in, and basically it's going to get locked up for 6 months, and you're going to get 3% per week. Once that 6 months is over, you can take your money out, you can sell your AVI and walk away if that's what you want to do. They say they will never ever extend the lockup period for any reason. So that's super important. You feel like you're going to lock it up for 6 months, 3 months in, they say whatever sustainability, they got to push it out another 3 months. They're saying that they'll never do it right here in the white paper. So if that's true, that is certainly helpful. So next section, our system uses 2 balances. On-hand balance is withdrawable immediately, whereas generator balance has a 6-month lockup period. Any balance locked up in the generator counts toward the 3% weekly ROI, and any on-hand balance is immediately withdrawable at any time or compoundable once per week. After the generator lockup period, you can then transfer some or all of your generator balance over to your on-hand balance, or leave all your balance in the generator to keep earning your 3%. On to compounding, which is important. So participants can compound once per week. There is a 5% tax on compounding. Auto compounding is another feature we offer to make it easier, which I like. This may be one where I kind of want to set it and forget it. Obviously, I got to come in and then, update you guys and make content on everything that's going on. But it may be something where I just want to throw it on the auto compounder and I'm going to see what this thing's going to do for the next 6 months. So we'll see. But once per week, it's putting it in there. So I don't know for sure if this is how it works, but this is just how I'm picturing it in my head. Let's say I lock up $1,000. I'm going to get my 3% per week. That 3% per week, I believe, would then go into my available balance, which the on-hand balance, which I can then choose to take out, or I can dump back in as a compound. I'm pretty sure that's how it's working. It's worded like a little ambiguous, but that seems like that would make sense to me. Next, the weekly rewarded ROI, and it might actually just tell me this here in a second. So the weekly rewarded AVI, 3% is rewarded weekly on a Thursday. It's paid out to participants in their on-hand balance. So exactly what I just said is confirmed. From here, it can compound back into the generator to increase your rewards, or it can be withdrawn from your site balance immediately. So apparently I should have read to the next paragraph before I started rambling on there, but that's exactly what happens. So if you've got your money in there, it pays you your 3% per week. You either have the option to take it out and cash out, or you can compound it, like all these other compounding protocols. So I like that. That's slick. It'll be really interesting to run some quick math on what it could do if I put in, $1,000 or $2,000, and then I put that weekly 3% back in and allow that to compound for 6 months and pulled out right on that 6 month period. It'd be nice to know $2,000 is going to turn into X at the end of 6 months. Obviously, if they're getting the 3% plus you get your initial back after 6 months and you've compounded, that's going to be a pretty good gain. Maybe not in terms of like what we consider DeFi right now, which is, very high risk, very high return, but it's to something that's more sustainable. If you would take this protocol and match it up to like maybe what you would see with stocks or dividends or any of that type of stuff. I mean, this is significantly higher as a percentage. So of course there's going to be some additional risk there. You're obviously, giving them control over the protocol and all that type of stuff. So they really control your money, but it's 3% per week and not 3% per day. So that's good. Let's see. So the tax, 10% on buy, 10% on sell, 5% on compound. So pretty typical to what we've seen. I don't want to go through everything. Like I said, initial run through. I'd love to hear your info and your feedback on this. Okay, here, let's see here. Referral system. I haven't read anything on this. So let's see. Some of you guys like to build teams, 10, 20, 50 people. So I at least want to throw this out there because sometimes people's motivation to get into these protocols is strictly due to, team building and all that type of stuff. So it says there's 6 different ways to earn referrals, which is significant. Members get an instant 10% bonus anytime someone they've referred deposits. For example, John uses William's referral code to sign up. He then deposited $1,000, $10 in AVI or 10 AVI. William instantly receives 100 USD, 1 AVI. Okay, similar to other protocols, it's basically a 10% of their deposit, which would normally go to like the tax vault, and the tax vault would pay you. Basically, that's what you're gonna get. So decent referrals, 10% is awesome. Indirect referrals, so it looks like probably for downlines. The example is Violet refers Jake, who then refers Brian. Brian deposits 25. Jake gets his referral bonus, but as well as that, Violet gets a 0.605 ABI bonus too. Indirect referral bonuses are up to 7 uplines, which is awesome. I don't even think in any of my protocols, even though like on my drip team, I've got hundreds of people on the drip team. I don't think I'm even down probably 7 levels. So that's interesting. So of course, direct referrals, you got indirect referrals. You see, this is our favorite of the bunch because it provides the member another source of true passive income. Members earn up to 5% of their referrals weekly generator profits. For example, Robert refers Georgia. She deposits 10 ABI into the generator. She's now earning 0.3 AVI per week. Because of this, Robert also earns 0.015 AVI per week. So this one's interesting. I mean, it seems like with this addition, it should be pretty lucrative to build teams. So depending on how many people you've got on your team, you could increase your 3% per week up to 4 or 5% per week, maybe potentially, just depending on how the math works out. Looks like you also get a bonus from when your referrals rank up. So you have those, you know, starter, silver, gold, platinum, or whatever. As people jump up, you get some additional bonuses. I won't go into this too much because we're not there yet. We're not even in the pre-sale. Once we get the pre-sale, and if I get in, I'll dive into this stuff. And then an early starter bonus. Early starter bonus has been added to incentivize new participants to try the new referral system. It pays out a reward for inviting members in the first 35 days. Okay, this is cool. So any of you guys that want to start up, once the pre-sale goes live, if we decide, hey, we're doing this, we'll throw a little bit of money in, and then you know, we spread the word. If you're in within the first 35 days, you get a little extra bonus too, which would be helpful. I like that idea just because it does incentivize people to get started early, right? Like what they need is dollars in the protocol to get working. So in order to get dollars in the protocol, you need people to join the protocol. And so obviously if you incentivize people to get in early and show everyone else that it works, then it's going to be helpful. 6 is more about team building bonus. It's for people who want to delve deep in the referral system and build their teams out. It's a bonus for reaching certain milestones and trading volume and all that type of stuff. Okay, so there's a lot of information there. If you plan on building a big team, come read this. I really, frankly, don't know yet. Hopefully, if I decide to go in, which I'm leaning toward yes. I like how professional this is. I want to talk to the team first and all that, so I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But I do like this one. It feels sustainable. So if we decide to get in, hopefully, of course, we can build a big team. If we do build a big team and there's like bonuses and stuff, I'll figure out some way to kick them to you. I don't know if there's any sort of like airdrop system, or we could do some contests or stuff like that. So we'll figure out how that works when the time comes. But we'll definitely do some kickbacks and stuff, because as you guys know, I like to share any bonuses that come through. I think it's only fair. Technically, we build these teams together. So of course, if I'm producing the content, I get a portion of it as my payment, I guess, for producing the content. But I like to give some back to you guys because we're all involved and it's a team. Makes it a lot more fun when we're kind of in it together, and a lot more engaging, right? You don't want to just dump money into the protocol and then never look at it again. Most of the time you're looking at the protocol, seeing where you're at, calculating your max payout, really kind of getting into the metrics of it. And it's a lot easier to stay engaged if there's some contests and different stuff going on. So anyway, we'll close it up. Like I said, pre-sale is going to be, I think, in the next couple weeks. Let's look at the roadmap real quick. All right, so they do have a Discord. This is obviously the white paper, marketing and community building. Technically, I'm doing some marketing right now. KYC. All right, that's interesting. So these guys might end up being fully doxed, KYC'd. Pre-sale, audit, release day, trading begins to be continued. So we're early on, but it sounds like we're right in this stage. I'm interested to see what's going on with the KYC. I will reach out right after I do this video to the team and just say, tell me about all these things. You know, I've got questions, so answer all these questions for me, and I'll decide if I want to tell my community that it may be a good idea, non-financial advice, to get into the pre-sale or not. So I'll do that after this. But if I get in, I will definitely want to get in at the pre-sale, because the pre-sale prices are like way cheaper, like 50%. Yeah, so instead of like $100 per AVI, you'd be getting them for 50. So I mean, that is killer half price. So if I put in my $1,500 or whatever, like I was saying, maybe I'd end up with 30 AVI instead of like 15. So that's a significant difference. Let me know what you guys think about this one. I will try to link this information down below, and then if we decide to go for it, I'll make another good video on me trying to figure out how to get into the pre-sale and all that type of stuff. So let me know what you guys think. Happy investing.